Uh, this essay is about travels that I have with Ginger. Ginger is almost 70 pounds. She's 9 months old, and she is an exuberant, hyperactive Irish setter. And I live on a kind of a man-made lake, and it takes me and Ginger about an hour and 15 minutes to circumnavigate the entire lake. In the subdivision I live in, you have to have your dogs on leashes. But at the end of toward the end of the lake, um, the subdivision, there are no more houses and no more road, actually just a path for about quarter mile, half mile. And as soon as we get to that place, Ginger knows that the leash gets taken off, and she just runs back and forth across the path, straight all the way down the path, and turns around and comes running back. Sometimes we walk across the road and go up into what we call the Badlands, and she just loves exploring. Ginger and I talk about a lot of travels we've done, and it goes back to something that George Santayana said. And he said about this has to do with education, and he said that a child who only is taught in school or learns in school is never fully educated. What he meant was that simply reading a textbook or even watching a video on YouTube is not the same as being there. It is critically important. It is important to travel. For the last 2 decades, every class I've ever taught, I've said to them, what's your ethnic background? And German, Italian, South African, Chinese, Middle Eastern. It doesn't make a bit of difference. Tell me what your ethnic background is, and then go to that country. If you're Spanish, go to Spain. If you're French, go to France. If you're South African, go to South Africa. If you're Chinese, go to Chinese or China. It doesn't, but I think people feel safer in what they think is familiar. So if I'm from Brazil, or my great-great-great-grandfather was from Brazil, then I go to Brazil. Where did I go? Where was the first place I went after I graduated from grad school? What's my ethnic background? Scottish. Where did you go? University of Edinburgh, Scotland. But once you do that and feel comfortable with that, man, it just opens up new horizons. In a couple of months, I'll be back to Myanmar, what used to be called Burma. And I've talked to the tour guide, or the tour company that's setting up the trip for me. And I said, these are the places I've been in Myanmar. They were the places that this tour company set me up with. Not going back to those places. I want to go to new places I haven't been. So, while this is a story about Ginger and me, it is also a story about you. Name your ethnic background. What's your family think of where your parents, great-great-grandparents, whatever, came from? Go that country. You'll feel safe. Once you feel safe and traveling, man, you'll have the time of your life. And I'll tell you, when you're talking to people about places that they haven't been, and they're talking as if they understood it, that place or whatever the issue was in that country, they don't get it. And Santayana is correct. Book learning is book learning. But getting to that country, that is where the learning takes place. So thank you for your time, and hope you have a great trip, wherever that might be. Take care.